It's Monday, the 1st of September. I'm behind my house. I walked through the apartment building alley in order to now start this video of the view I have from one block away from my home. So these people in these apartment buildings here get that view directly, and those people in that condo get a gorgeous city, downtown, mountain view directly. That'd be a cool place to stay if it's properly maintained. Same with mine, but it's not properly maintained. So, yeah, 2nd Street and 1st Avenue. People will park here sometimes and just look at the lights, make out, inspiration point, perspiration point. I have to be careful on these steps because they're not regulation depth. So as I'm walking down, my heels will sometimes hit the back of the step. So I have to make sure I'm turning my foot sideways like that. Because if I just try and walk normally, I fall off the edge of the step or I scratch my heel. I think this is why people don't do running on these steps, because you'll kill yourself. So there's a little wooded or forested area here going down towards the river and Memorial Drive, which is just in front of the river. It's Monday morning at 11, but it feels like a Sunday morning because it's Labor Day, a celebration in North America for human workers, laborers. This is supposedly our day off for all of us to remember that our bosses make 850 times our salary per hour for equivalent or less work. You can see some camping happening there. Informal of a sort, maybe. That's why you have to be careful in this area, because you don't want to go down there uninvited. You could end up with a very unpleasant experience. So it seems this building is divided into west and east halves. Perhaps the elevators are that way. Perhaps when you go into the central foyer, west half, east half, something like that. When you go into the parking, it'll also say west and east. So it might be two buildings kind of built together with a central foyer or atrium. Wouldn't mind getting in there to see it. Either as a renter or as an owner. It does at least look from the yard that it's well maintained, unlike my building, but I'll fix that. So this is 11 a.m. sun in September in Calgary at our latitude. Our river is reasonably high. There's Center Street with the lions on it, and then a little bit of Chinatown around there for the first couple of blocks, and then you get into the government building, Harry Hayes, which kind of ends Chinatown, and then some condos, and then the larger part of the East Village development. So Basically, East Village is from McLeod Trail east. The Bowl building was included in it because of its property tax revenue to secure the loan community revitalization levy for developing East Village. So that's a good thing. That's where the city borrows money from the province at the provincial treasury rate in order to make investments into infrastructure, primarily roads, sewage, electrical, water, and then builds condominiums and libraries and other parts of civic infrastructure, which then pays off in higher property tax bills. So the property tax uplift pays for the loan. Now that CRL is abused a lot in the US and here, Edmonton and now Calgary, to build arenas. So 300 West, 300 East. And in Calgary, the $1.2 billion arena mega block, which also has a hotel and parkade and other properties on it, entertainment, restaurants, etc. Property tax free. That $1.2 billion, $300 million from the province and $900 million from Calgary taxpayers. I think it's $40 million up front from the people who get all the revenues. So CSEC, the billionaires, headed by Murray Edwards, gets all the revenues. We get zero revenues, but we're putting in all but $40 million of it. Now they're playing some games to say, oh, but we're putting in over the life of the building, this many millions of dollars. But that's a lease payment. It's not the upfront capital you need. So yeah, you can pay a couple of $100 million over 30 years, 40 years, but you're not building the building 1/30th at a time every year. You're building the building up front with taxpayer money, and you're getting all the revenues. Enough on that. Here is the beautiful large area for the Ukrainian church. So there's a garden area here, parking, and then the church itself. Look at the land, and boy, would this make a good condo here. So I don't really know who owns the land in particular, but Ukrainians, come to Calgary. You could have wonderful housing here and walk to church. You could have a senior community here. You could have a disabled veterans community here and walk to church after fighting Putler and his bombs. So it's Monday, not Sunday, otherwise I imagine there'd be people here for church. You can see some of the garbage from encampments, maybe. This is why you have to be careful here at night. You stick to yourself, they stick to themselves. But sometimes drugs can make people do stupid things. And sometimes sober Calgarians can do stupid things, sticking their nose in. Or that Chinese film crew that was here during the G8 trying to show how bad Canada is and how there's people camping in the woods. They probably, if they went too far, got a face full of pepper spray and a knife or a club in the ribs and head, respectively. So, yeah, beautiful church. Slava Ukraini. The neighborhood's looking gorgeous today. All this stuff nicely maintained. I'm continuing to walk east. So that's where I came from. Center Street almost. And now you can see the numbers increasing, 414, etc., because we're approaching 4th Street, which is the southbound lanes of Edmonton Trail. So somebody's sitting on these two houses. This one, both are probably condemned now, so they're boarded up, and there's no legal housing allowed there. This warehouse along the riverfront, also massive value. Looks like there's housing up there. A new door. So you can see the electrical comes in, and this stuff isn't current code, of course, but yeah, I can imagine some really nice buildings coming up here. 422, can't really see the number on that one. At the very least, a 4-plex or 6-plex will come up, depending on the height rules. More likely one of those things will come here. Whatever the height allows, closer to this major street. And then a shipping container, which might be somebody's housing. There are people making houses out of shipping containers, rebuilt to code. And then obviously occupied homes here. Soaring property value. And why do I say soaring property value? Because you could put an apartment building or a condo like that there, because the zoning allows that height along major streets. They want the density. The city, we want the density, because Calgary's still booming. And you can have people live like this, or you can have people live like that and see what it does to our property, and then to our transit route intensity as well too, for sale. I'm not going downtown, I'm going straight through to OEB for breakfast. And I didn't make a video of it, but there was a Ukrainian woman who was looking for the church to pray. She was able to find that one, but it was closed. And then I showed her to the Catholic church, because at that time, Hitler was dropping a lot of drones, and she really wanted to pray. That's what I kind of the two and two I put together. To see what the neighborhood looks like in the winter, but boy, does it ever look good right now. Oh. And so you can see my building there. See where the 4th Street sign is? So my building is that olive color building, 3 or 4 stories high, that comes down the hill. And yeah, people are painting the barriers nicely for street patios, which started during COVID and continues. So a lane of the road is taken up. So all you lose a parking spot or two, but you have a patio for people in the neighborhood to come and eat. Worth it. I should support this business more. Lush Lane Organic Market. Yeah, there's the main door. 9 till 9, 7 days a week. Yeah, I should support this place more. Okay. Shoot, I was going to walk across to Center Street Shoppers Drug Mart when I can just come here. This is the building that's very custom made. It's a lot of retail on the first floor and then 3 or 4 expensive condo above. large and expensive condos above. Oh, is that a sad dog? Hey, doggy, how are you? Oh, you're taking a poop. Okay, you do your thing. You're straining a bit. Oh, there you go. After your owner's bringing a plastic bag. Main Street is an equities company. I guess so. It's a trust now. A lot of trusts were restructured out of apartment buildings. So they were structured in Income Trust, Boardwalk, Main Street, some of these other companies. So these are down on the floodplain. I prefer being up a little higher. Avenue Living, another landlord, lots of properties. Avenue Living, Main Street, Boardwalk. And then here we have the battered women's shelter. So it has high security. Some reinforcement of the retaining wall there that's giving way. Maybe some civil engineers are busy working on that. As you can tell, it is not vertical. Yeah, there's some civil engineering behind that. And you can kind of see why, right? It's flat here, but steep hill here. So you can see the pressure to slide the building down that way. I'm speaking softly and moving slowly because I'm tired. And I'll eat, and then maybe I'll have a little afternoon nap before the football game. Really enjoying today. I'm really enjoying the blessing or the privilege that I have here in Canada to be safe and to be able to walk around like this. And really the only issue is at night I hear car racing, street racing sometimes, as opposed to drones. And that's the Catholic Church. The Ukrainian Catholic Church, Sisters of something, Sisters of Mercy of some sort, Sisters of Grace. Oh, that woman was so happy when she saw it. Took off like a rock. Like a rocket. So these people have kind of a natural garden. Letting the dandelions grow to feed the bees. Totally, some people would say, remove those dandelions. No, they're important. Good to have a natural garden. This is Longerman School. Also Calgary Science School, where Nafisa might have gone. I get it. Communauto. I always wondered. I thought it said Unautoflex. But this is what a friend of mine told me about. Communauto. So it's the successor to Car2Go. Community Auto. And yeah, you sign up for an account and then you tap your cell phone here and it lets you in. And if you fill up the vehicle when it's below a quarter tank, you get a credit, a Kia Forte. Wow. I'm not going to say her name in the video, but I'm going to thank her. I am seeing these gray cars. I thought it was just advertising some business, but Communauto. And there are larger vehicles that you can use to move furniture, very carefully, of course, without damaging this community vehicle. I'll clean that off another day. I don't have a tissue in my pocket, so it doesn't damage the paint. Oh, lovely. Oh, I'm so doing this. Okay. Yeah, I enjoyed Car2Go. In fact, am I wearing Car2Go glasses today? Yes. Car2Go, I'm wearing their glasses. Because it's an intensely sunny day, as you can tell. And hot. Mad dogs, Englishmen, and engineers in Stamps clothing go out in weather like this. Somebody's recycling bin on the ground. I'll fix that. Not sure if you belong there, but there you go. Ta-da. That was easy. Fun things you can do as a pedestrian. So that's the fire hall. That's now an art studio. I think that's just a pure single-family home. These little nooks here end up being places where people have nice houses, often on the end unit. So this will become a nice house. This already is a nice house or duplex. And then a nice house with that view. And those steps. Brief detour. And then I'll go back because I'm starving. So these are the city's wooden steps. Yeah, I could handle that commute to work. Come down these steps. I can handle that. It's a duplex, but they've sort of dressed it to look different. But yeah, the dividing wall and the balcony and the garages gives it away, and the symmetry. But yeah, a little bit of work with the paint to make it look different. That house is for sale next door, the wooden shack. Maybe something like this will come up instead. '56, you have a beautiful home. With a great view. No privacy in your front and side yard, but you have a great view. That's why God made blinds like you got. You can see the sweeping roof of the Saddle Dome there. Of course, all the East Village, all the condos. Hi. I'm filming, but I'm keeping it away. Hi. Thank you. Yeah, there's a couple out walking their dog. What a life that would be. And I think that's called Scotchman's Hill, overlooking the Stampede grounds. And you can see the sweeping arches of the St. Patrick's Bridge there, those two forks. Oh, great views from up here. You can see why it's called Bridgeland, right? Bridge there, bridges there, bridges there. That's the neighborhood before LRT and before that bridge. Church of the Lutheran Hour. The doors are boarded up, but those are copper. And then the office, St. Matthew's office. And maybe the Reverend lives in here as well too. Time to have a little drink of water. I'm using my Hydro Pack for the first time. This is what's called the bite valve. So let's see, the pack is wide open. The first white water sucks. It's warm because the tube sits in the sun against the strap. Yeah, I'm tasting a lot of silicone from the bag. And, oh well. I'll wash it out again when I get home. I did rinse it out, but maybe it needs another rinse. Yeah, a little narrow home will come in here. Maybe they'll buy both. Do a big development. New home being built here. You see the Tyvek wrap and the cage being built for the stucco. Calgary Parking, taking care of people that are staying too long. I'll be putting my phone down in a sec. Almost at OEB. There's another residential neighborhood. Some people maintaining older properties pretty well. Pirate Salute Tattoo R. So professional center, and then I'm headed there. I think it's actually that building with the white trim and the red brick columns. That's where OEB is. I know, it's very, very close. So we're coming up on 1st Avenue, aka General Avenue. The General Hospital used to be here, and then it was torn down in the late 90s. I was here. I was living in my building then. Watched it on TV from the patio. No, I don't think I'll be trapped. You can see the street work happening. It's the big box that the tools go in. So jackhammer, backhoe, front end loader, a little versatile little cat. It's been doing this kind of work, so the jackhammer does that kind of work. And what are they doing? I'm putting in utilities. I'm not sure what green is, but definitely utilities are coming in here. And that's what you see that for. Yeah, so it's going to be under the intersection. Good amount of work. More civil engineers at work. So you can see the excavations being done. That black thing there, I think, I'll have a look, but I think that's related to the weeping tile to get water away from the building. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what it is. I can get through. Maximum 40 single file. Yeah, no worries. Don't worry. It's a single file, that's for sure. Yeah, that hose is for weeping towel. And then you can see some rebar left over. And then new steps, well, new concrete to enter this building here. There's a way I can do this safely. No worries. Obviously, yeah, that parking lot's closed off. That's graceful. And I see people standing outside. Does that mean OEB is full? Or is that people just hanging out? Oh, 11:45, I'm in prime time. Well, let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's see how big this lineup is. I spent an hour kind of doing prep work at home and then slowed down making this video. Brand new storm drain, awaiting sidewalk and then connection to the road. Yeah, civil engineer heaven here. So OEB has got some patio area outside, informal, but not like a formal, tables and benches. I might do a takeout order. Let's see. I might do a takeout and I'll just sit out here and eat. These wooden planters that sometimes have the plants that they eat inside. The microgreens. Well, let's see if they'll fit me in as a one. Otherwise, it's a takeout order. I don't think I'll be sitting and relaxing with my notebook. Yeah. Okay, turning off video.